Today on the News Roundup, check out a special interview with Justin Hernandez, Grande High School's new school resource officer.
This is the Thursday edition of the News Roundup, brought to you by EONI and Grand Ronde Hospital.
Hello, Eastern Oregon. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Bob Cavanaugh.
And I'm Bree Troutman.
And you're watching the News Roundup.
This story is brought to you by Brother Bear Cafe on Adams Avenue. Call in to order for takeout. Now that Cody Bowen has moved on from his position as the Grande High School's resource officer to Union County's new sheriff, the Grande High School has hired a new resource officer. Meet Justin Hernandez. A local EOU alumni, Justin played football as a receiver for the University of Idaho for 2 years, then transferred to EOU to play another 2 years here. And now he is taking the reins of Grande High School's new school resource officer. Take a look at his interview with Doddsy.
So I started my career as a reserve, and then Boyd Rasmussen provided me the opportunity to be a full-time employee in corrections. And I accepted that opportunity, and a short time later, about 4 months later, he promoted me to patrol. And while I was working with patrol, I was stationed in Elgin for my first few years, about 2 years, and then I graduated from Elgin to county, and then I was a county deputy for approximately 6 months, and then I was promoted to drug task force detective. So I don't think that there could ever be another Cody Bowen. I don't think that there could ever be another Justin Hernandez. Cody's going to be able to relate to people that I can't, and I'm going to be able to relate to people that Cody can't. But the most important thing that Cody and I have in common is a passion for our youth. And you know, I'm looking forward to the opportunity of stepping into his role and continuing his mission of humanizing the badge.
Be sure to watch the full video on our Facebook and YouTube channel.
This story is brought to you by Northwest Furniture and Mattress, your local family-owned furniture store. Here's another CHD COVID update with Brent Clapp and Carrie Bergiotti.
So we've been really fortunate that we have had vaccine to distribute over the last few weeks, and we're really trying to get vaccine out to the community as quickly as we're getting it. So we've done a few large vaccine events where we've focused on vaccinating the current priority groups, the current groups that are eligible to get vaccinated, which are set out by the Oregon Health Authority. So those include the Phase 1A groups, which are really healthcare providers, but then other folks that care for people that work in outpatient settings. It's actually a pretty broad group of folks that we have in Phase 1A. And then over the last week or so, we have been able to move on to vaccinating our educators, early childhood staff, so early learning, childcare, K through 12 education. And so it's just taken a lot of time, but like I said, our team is really committed to working hard to get the vaccine out as quickly as we can. And we've had a lot of support from the county emergency manager. We've had some volunteers that are showing up to help us. So it's been a pretty big effort, but we're really glad that we have folks in the community that have gotten their first dose of vaccine. I'm also really excited that here pretty soon we'll be starting to give second doses so people have that full protection from the vaccine. So just lots of work to get it out.
Be sure to watch the full COVID update right here on EO Alive.
Here's Doddsy with another sports segment.
Thanks, guys. It's Doddsy with Eastern Oregon Alive Sports, and we have a little bit of EOU news. The soccer team traveled to Corvallis and took on Oregon State, the men's soccer team. They lost 6-0, but I mean, the chat around town is they were competitive in the first half. Oregon State's a D1 school, you know, NCAA. We're NAIA, so it's hard to get a real gauge on how good, or, you know, based on playing in NCAA Division I school. The track team is going to College of Idaho this weekend. Softball starts up next weekend. So softball starts up the weekend after this, same with baseball. The basketball team's hoping to have some games next week in Idaho. This week, yesterday, I sat down with Kylie McCurtry and Cambry Scott of the 9th ranked in the nation EOU women's volleyball team. Tomorrow on the sports show, I will sit down with EOU junior wrestler Keegan Mulhill. Here's a little sneak peek. Wrestling, I mean, like, was it your only sport that you played in high school? Like, was it your passion?
No, I actually played football in high school too. And for like the beginning of my high school career, I liked football a lot more than I liked wrestling.
What changed?
I think just like wrestling just becomes your lifestyle. Like everything you do is kind of for wrestling. So like in the summers, I would like at the beginning, I would be going to like football camps and stuff. And then it turned into, I'm going to national tournaments for wrestling. I'm practicing 9 months out of the year for wrestling. Because outside of like high school season, we go into freestyle season. And I think freestyle is really fun. So we're going to like Fargo and Pocatello and all these places, Virginia Beach, just wrestling all the time.
Anyways, that's all I got, Eastern Oregon. I'm Doddsy, Eastern Oregon Alive Sports, and I'm out.
Be sure to tune in every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for full sports interviews and sports updates with Doddsy.
That's it for this week, Eastern Oregon. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Bob Kavanaugh.
And I'm Bree Troutman.
Be sure to tune in next time for the
Weekly News Roundup.